Episode 3: Proxy Wars, the conflicts that turned the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union never met on a battlefield, but their weapons did, their pilots did, their money, their strategies, their influence, all collided in wars fought thousands of miles away. These are the proxy wars, the hidden battlegrounds of the Cold War. A proxy war is a conflict where major powers avoid direct confrontation. Instead, they support other nations, factions, or movements, letting them fight on their behalf. It was a way to wage war without starting World War III. And these silent influences turned local tensions into global crises. In 1950, the Korean Peninsula exploded. North Korea, backed by the Soviet Union and later China, launched a full invasion of the South. The United States led a UN force to push back. It was the first real test of Cold War strategy. American jets clashed with Soviet-built aircraft. Chinese soldiers poured across the border. Millions died. And the world realized something terrifying. A war in a small region could pull in global powers overnight. The conflict ended in a stalemate, but set the template for future proxy wars. Vietnam became the most iconic proxy war of the Cold War era. The North, supported by the Soviet Union and China. The South, backed by the United States. For the United States, it was a war to contain communism. For the Soviet Union, it was a chance to bleed American influence. The jungle turned into a stage for the war lasted nearly 20 years, and in the end, the United States withdrew. But the cost echoed globally. Vietnam showed the world that ideology could destroy nations just as effectively as bombs. In 1979, the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan. Narrator: it was a decision that would haunt them for decades. The United States responded by supporting the Afghan resistance. This included the famous Stinger missiles that changed the course of the war. For the Soviets, Afghanistan became a bleeding wound, draining resources, morale, and political stability. It was one of the many pressures that helped push the USSR toward collapse. Proxy wars were not limited to Asia. They spread across Angola, Ethiopia, Mozambique, Cuba, Nicaragua, the Middle East. Everywhere, the same pattern appeared. Local conflicts grew wider as superpowers fueled them from behind the scenes. Sometimes the fighters never knew who was truly funding their war. These battles often lasted years and left scars that still exist today. Proxy wars reshaped global politics. They allowed superpowers to but the real cost was paid by millions died in wars that were never truly theirs. The Cold War's proxy battles turned distant countries into global battlegrounds. It also reached the sky. In Episode 4, The Space Race, when the Cold War left the Earth.